This time we're joined by the representatives from UT Arlington. We have head coach Scott Cross, as well as number 4, Drew Charles. Coach Cross, if you could please start with a brief opening statement.
It was a very hard-fought game. Any Danny Casper coach team is going to be a great defensive team. I give them a lot of credit. They were playing shorthanded, and they played extremely hard tonight. They did a great job defensively. They made everything extremely difficult for us. This guy beside me, Drew Charles, he carried us at times, hit shot after shot for us. And the second half, I thought our guys really kind of dropped their butt and got in the stance and got the stops that we needed down the stretch. And I thought that was the difference. I think we were a little more committed defensively, and we played a little bit tougher there in the second half than we did in the first half. In the first half, they were really the tougher team, and they out-physicaled us. And they did a great job. But very, very thankful that our guys figured out a way to pull it out.
Thank you, Coach. This time we'll take questions for Drew Charles.
Joe Vizzelli from the San Marcos Daily Record. Drew, you had a great first half, and then the first two in the second half that you had didn't go in. But talk about the ability to kind of bounce back and be able to have, kind of a shooter's conscience and not worry about those previous two shots.
I just owe that to my teammates. Eric, our point guard, he said, keep shooting, keep doing what you do. And if he has faith in me like that, I got to have faith in myself.
Was there something that you guys did at halftime adjustment-wise, to kind of slow them down after what they were able to do in the first half?
Yes, we started playing in the gaps more. We do this shell drill, and we keep them out of the paint, and that tend to slow them down.
That was definitely our point of emphasis. Earlier in the game, we were trying to deny things, and they have such great ball movement and player movement. It's hard to deny things. So we just got back to playing in the gaps and trying to keep them out the paint because they manhandled us in the paint, I felt like, in the first half. And our guys definitely did a better job in the second half keeping them out the paint.
How much were you feeling tonight out there? It seems like every shot, it had a good chance of going in.
Mm-hmm. I was feeling it. I was getting good looks. Then some of the looks were tough, but once you hit a couple down, those looks feel good.
Good with questions for Drew. Drew, if you want to head back to the locker room, you're welcome to. We'll go ahead with questions for Coach Cross.
Coach, do you have to change something, knowing that Montalvo might be out? Did you kind of anticipate that, or what did you kind of do there to game plan wise?
It simplifies things. He's a very good player. He's a guy like Drew that you have to respect. It's a shame that he got injured. That charge he took last night, to me, was probably the difference in the game and probably why they won the game. So them not having him really took away the three-point shooting dimension because he's a guy you have to chase all over the floor. Luckily, Drew is one of the best defenders in terms of finding shooters and sticking with them. But it allowed us to play more team defense and not be so focused on one guy. And I know it was a huge hit for them to lose a guy like that.
Finally, last year you played them 3 times and it didn't work out the third time. This time it did. Is it kind of really hard to play a team 3 times, because by that third game you kind of know each other's tendencies, if you will?
It can be. I treat each game as a separate entity. I think whoever's ready to play on that given night is going to win. It looked like they were ready to play and we weren't, and we were going to come up short. Luckily, our guys turned the light switch on, but I don't think it matters how many times you beat a team, once, twice, 3 times. If you're not ready to play on that night, you're not going to win, and that's the bottom line. Whoever's ready is going to win.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, did you make it more of an effort to drive the ball in the second half? You took 22 threes in the first half, but the second half, I thought Kalen and Eric driving the ball really got the momentum going your way.
We did point that out to them at halftime, that 22 three-pointers is way too many. To me, it felt like we were being soft offensively, that we were being timid, and they were the tougher, more aggressive team, and so we just settled for three-point shots. I do like to shoot three-point shots, I think it helps with the offensive rebound, and obviously if you're making a high percentage, the points can add up, but you don't want to rely on that. You still have to drive the ball. What we want to do is we want to get the ball in the paint, so we want to try and score, driving the ball to the basket, if not, pitch it out. But I felt like our guys just relied on three-point shooting in the first half, and so we definitely made that a point of emphasis with them at halftime.
All right, and defensively, they were hitting a lot of tough shots early, but did you just kind of have the guys keep it steady for the most of the game because they were playing good defense in the first?
I felt like that they would start missing them as the game progressed, and they got a little bit more tired. I just felt like our guys needed to try and keep them out the paint, and if we did that and we kept them off the boards, I felt like sooner or later things were going to swing our direction, and finally it did. So I'm proud of our guys. They didn't give up. There were a couple times where they had big leads, and it looked like things weren't going too good, but our guys were resilient and they kept fighting.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
This time we're joined by the representatives from Texas State. We've had Coach Danny Casper, as well as number 5, O.J. Black, and number 21, Imani Gant. Coach Casper, if you could start with a brief opening statement, please.
Well, we're disappointed with this loss. I want to say we led for I don't know how many minutes of the game, 75% of the game, maybe 80. But we just really wore down. If there's no other way I can put it, you got Ethan Montabo out with a concussion. You got Kendall Ramlell with the meniscus tear. And you got, 6 guys playing a lot of minutes. And we've really activated Bobby Conley. He's got more minutes this tournament than he has before. And if there's, I look at, we shot a better percentage than they did. The turnover differential is minimum, 15 to 13. We just didn't shoot the ball very well, and we got out-rebounded by 7, and more importantly, we only got 3 offensive rebounds. And, I feel like if I could sum it up, I just think we ran out of juice a little bit there.
This time we'd like to open – sorry, Coach.
And, OJ and both these young men up here were cramping. And so we really had some issues with our cramp, our lack of depth as far as keeping fresh bodies in there. That's it for me.
This time we'll open up to questions for the student athletes first.
Joe Zelley from the San Marcos Daily Record. For either one of you, how tough is it, knowing that you're cramping up and, this is such an important game, but you're not sure if your body can give it everything you would want to have to try to pull out a victory like this?
Oh, well, it hurt me personally. It hurt. I was trying my best just to get out there. I was 2-minute spurts, 3-minute spurts. I just didn't want this to be my last game with these guys. I've been through a lot. The 2 years I've been here, the relationships we have, I just didn't really want it to be my last game with them. So I just went out there and tried to put everything I had into that game, and obviously we fell up short.
Yeah, for me, it was the toughest thing I've tried to get through. My whole body was literally cramping. I just kind of ran out of juice at the end. I got tired. Wish I could have gave more in the second half. I thought I could have done a lot more in the second half because I played so well the first half. But I just ended up getting tired. It's just tough.
Yeah.
Was it just the fact of having to play 2 games in 2 days, or was that one of the factors you think in what happened?
I think it was a factor, but I just think, it's been a long season. It's been an emotional season, and seeing, we had the game yesterday. Of course, played a factor, and I just think we, like you said, we just ran out of juice, man. My back started tightening up on me, my calves, my hamstrings, and I just really tried to give all I had.
Finally, for Monty, the accomplishments you were able to do, 1,000 points, a bunch of different things. What are you going to remember about the way with these guys and what you've been able to do during your time at Texas State?
I'm just going to remember just the teamwork and camaraderie we had, just the brothers that I made here, just the love and passion that we all have for each other in the game. And you know, I appreciate all the individual accomplishments, but I wish I could have done more to be successful in terms of more winning, doing more things in the tournament and stuff like that. That's where I felt like I fell short, but I tried to do all I could, so.
Thank you very much, guys. If you want to head back to the locker room, we can now open it up to questions for Coach.
Let me just say this in front of them, that both these guys have had to play, Joe. You know, you've been to a lot of these games. They both had to play a lot of minutes. We did not have the kind of depth we needed at these two positions. We had a freshman point guard, and we just haven't had consistency at the backup center spot. Plus, you have Kendall Ramlell hurt today. Or hurt. He's out. He's got a meniscus tear. So these guys have put in a lot of minutes. These two in particular have put in a lot of minutes, more so than I had ever thought they would going into the year. And what OJ said, it's been a long year, is adequately, I think, describes their situation. Putting in so many minutes that it wears you down. Okay, guys, y'all can go. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go ahead for Coach.
Coach, what was the scouting report on Drew Charles going into this game?
Oh, we knew he could shoot. I mean, we do that. You know, those last 2 threes were against the zone, so that's nobody's. But when we were running, we're talking about how tired these guys are, and we started seeing how they were penetrating us and getting into the key. Again, I mean, we ran out of a lot of, it just seemed like our energy level swooned there in the middle of the second half. And we had Imani with cramps, OJ with cramps. You know, we've had even Bobby. I played Bobby 35 minutes tonight. He's used to playing 10. So, I mean, we really pushed some kids tonight, and we had some freshmen on the bench that we didn't use because we just didn't think they were ready to help. And so we've got what do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys playing 21 minutes. Malvo 15, another one 13. I don't really think if this was a first game, if we were talking about the first game, you wouldn't have seen this. But this is what I've told my assistants. We have to have a lot of depth to win 4 games in 4 days. And that's why you try to get in that first through fourth, so you only play 3 or 2.
When you saw the team kind of hitting the wall there, you know, maybe midway through the second half, what's kind of going through your mind in that situation?
You know, what can who can I put in? You know, that type of thing. And they're racking our brains out. We were even thinking about putting like Caven at the 2. You know, but then again, Caven doesn't know any of the out of bounds plays at the 2. None of the press break at the 2. In our motion, that's not an issue, but in a lot of other places it is. And then they have these guards. They're very small. They're not a very big lineup, but that also poses a problem for us, and with their quickness. And you know, they didn't kill it. It was a 41-34 advantage on the boards, but the thing that the stat that stands out is the 14 offensive rebounds to 3. That's the one area where I think you see some fatigue showing. Guys just not hitting the boards because they're tired.
Coach Cross was saying, you know, the first half he felt like they were shooting a lot of 3-pointers, maybe more than he would have liked. In the second half, they kind of made an adjustment and drove to the rim more. Was that kind of what you saw from them, and they're kind of a switching game?
Well,
plan?
I also think that, again, I go back, Joe. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I also think that what didn't work for them in the first half worked in the second half because of the fatigue factor. So sometimes it's a simple matter of, hey, they're wearing down. And they were pressing us, which made OJ work harder, you know, and so they did Scott did some things. He has good depth, and he did some things to wear key people on our team down. And I was afraid of this going into the game. We knew what they could do, you know, and I was afraid they would be pressing us a lot.
You played a really great first half, and you were only up by maybe 5 or 6. Was that kind of a concern, knowing that you had played such a great half and not be up by more, or would you have anticipated being up by more?
Well, you know, I didn't. I thought we played a good first half. I thought they did a pretty decent job too. So that's a very good basketball team. You know, it's arguably they could have been the best team in the league had their star player not been hurt, Hervey. I mean, look at who they beat: Ohio State, Memphis, UTEP. I forget. There's one other big win for them. You know, but look who they beat, and then they lose their best player, and they rebound. That's a very good basketball team that could win this tournament.
Good. Okay. Thank you.